Hello and welcome to Interlagos for the EERC British Touring Car Championship Round 4. My name is Edward Hunter, and joining me in the commentary box, as ever, is the one, the only, Joshua Birch. Joshua,
good evening.
We got three cars under the Hunter Birch Simulation banner, of course, our custom team that's second in the championship in drivers and the teams championship, and a big opportunity here. Big points on the table with championship leaders Iris and Sven Gilhead giving this one a miss with their MG. As we see, I believe, I'm not sure what's happened to Chris Davis here. But
he's doing what Peter Schumann did yesterday. He's going exploring at Interlagos. I'd be very careful though. It's a quite dangerous area around Interlagos and Sao Paulo.
And the qualifying server is just been reset. There we go. You saw the Hunter Birch Simulation cars just going to the end of the pit lane there.
Is that replanned that?
There we go. Liam Rance. Oh!
I think
that looked like a Petravsky just squeezing through there. Yeah, there it was with the big German flag on top.
Green light's gone on now for quali, but I'm just wondering if some of them jumped the exit of the green light there because it's a 15-minute session, but we saw people leaving the pit lane.
Yeah, Rance gone back
10 seconds to go. Yeah.
And it's actually Valente who's going to be first out. Of course, second in the championship, number 82 has got 48 kilograms of ballast or something like that. I think the biggest is 50, and I think it's like he's got 40 something kilograms of ballast.
We'll definitely have ballast though due to good times last
we should
time
also say especially up in Nordschleife where he got 2 podiums, which was very impressive, as Liam Rance now gets on track just behind one of the Finnevond cars, who are going to be a big threat to Hunter Birch Simulation, of course. Liam Rance is streaming this, by the way, on his YouTube channel, which is through Satellite Racing, Virtual Racing, because on HyperX, so sponsors. So I might try and see if we can get the link to that in the chat and post it to people so they can watch Liam Rance make his progress. Nassim Alloy is also streaming on his Twitch account as well. It's only Alessandro who's not streaming out of our drivers, so I guess we'll have to big him up ourselves since Alessandro. He's actually had a bit of an operation on his leg recently. His foot's not been too good, so he says he's thankful it's only a 20-minute race, and with all that ballast, he's really going to be up against it. I told him it's a case of, hey, survival. Points up for grabs. You finish in the top 5 in both races, you lead the championship. So
have we told him now, however, that it's actually it's a sprint race and then a reverse grid race as well?
Well, so that's true, but also, I should mention that reverse grid number 2, race number 2, it's scheduled to rain currently. But there's been reports of heavy rain approaching Interlagos. It will miss race 1, but it will be very, very wet for race 2. So do look out for that. Let me just there's a couple people in Liam Rance's chat calling him Glove Boy.
Already?
Yeah. That's literally the only thing being spammed in Liam Rance's chat. Glove Boy, just on repeat. Nothing in our chat so far.
Sliding into Center S at the moment, just drifting it nicely.
Yeah, so I'll just post a little link in the chat for those who want to Liam Rance's stream as well as our own, just to compliment it. I'm sure Liam Rance will give some expert commentary.
I've got 6 screens up in front of me up here in the comms box. One's got the TV pictures on, one got the live timing, one's got the YouTube output. I'd like 2 screens for our drivers to keep an eye on as well. So send those links in and keep an eye on what we're up to.
Yeah, I think my computer is really struggling at the moment because it's really lagging through passing. But let's have a look. Liam Rance currently fastest in the first sector, 24.6, and that's the best time. Peter Schumann quite close to it, as is Chris Davis.
Oh, big slide from Liam. He just held that one at the top of it's Ferrador, isn't it, at the top of that part of the track?
I believe so, yes. As Ben Boros is coming in to finish to start his first lap, I think. Pires, Boros, and Schumann have gone through sector 2. 52-3 for Alloy, 52-0 for Thomas McHugh and Pires. So both of them going very quickly indeed. Is this Pires coming towards the line now? So he should be the first to get a lap on the board. There we go. Number 15 sets that looks like a 140.952. Yes, yeah. Peter Schumann just falls short of that. Boros comes over with time. It's instantly beaten by McHugh.
Look at Pires though, goes top, 140.952. So Davis now goes 140.767.
Yeah, there we go. It's a good lap actually by Chris Davis. We're seeing the third. Oh, there we go. Liam Rance instantly smashes that 140.3. So, as expected, almost 4 tenths faster than Chris Davis in the Lev speed. So Liam Rance, in his debut appearance in the championship, is first in Hunter Burke simulation colours, laying down the marker in the number 64, which of course is the same car number he was driving with Satellite Motorsport in the EERC Endurance Championship. And the main reason that he wanted to use the 75, but Chris Davis was already using it, so there we go. He may not have the number he wanted, but he's got the position on track.
That happened to Giovinazzi, didn't it? He wanted to use a number that I think Kimi had. He wanted to use 7, didn't he? And then he had to use 99 instead. But now they've both left the team and the Formula One. So
and Alloy now
again.
setting a purple first sector, but getting held up by that looks like Davis.
Yeah, it was
75 just in the way. And there we go. He's letting. There was a bit of discussion actually from Hunter Burke Simulator whether the drivers were going to give each other a tow. Because we were convinced Iris were going to do that, and then Iris didn't show up. So
I did see that in the comments as well when I was setting up for Australia, of course, later on tonight. First practice from there for F1.
Of course.
And I was reading the text messages as well, I was thinking, no, Ed's got his team principal hat on. I won't get involved in that aspect of things. But look at this. This is fantastic. And into the pit lane comes Valente.
Yeah.
143
so Valente,
at the moment.
he's been complaining about struggling. He's of course got the most ballast of anyone in the field. And down in 11th at the moment, the number 82, which is looking to make real inroads into Sven Yielhead. He'll miss this race, but he will be back in the future as Nick Homewood goes 5th fastest. Wow. Impressive lap by Homewood. So Rance setting the pace, but the other Hunter Birch simulation cars 8th and 11th at the moment with some work to do to get up the field. I think Valente's target is sort of to get into 9th and 10th. Or 10th, and Alloy's target was sort of to get near the top 6. So both of them got a bit of work to do in terms of some time to find.
I do wonder if Nick Homewood, though, will make it more than a lap in this touring car race this weekend, compared to that he kept crashing at the Nordschleife and then just kept wandering up to the commentary box. It was a very hilarious commentary, that as well, because I think we all agree the Nordschleife, because we, of course, next weekend we've got the endurance race for ERC here, so the touring cars runs in parallel to what that does. It's sort of like the tester event, isn't it, the support series. So we had to run at the Nordschleife there, but it was so laughable about how the gaps were created as well, and how drivers who were leading the race by about a minute would then smash into the wall, and we'd have some completely different winner by the end of that lap. It was fantastic, and of course it was only 2 laps.
And of course the winner in LMP2 in the endurance race got disconnected on the very final lap of the race, and because they were a lap ahead, it became really, really tense with the Mugen that was leading LMP1 was going for the fastest lap on the final lap, and if they'd been maybe 5 or 6 seconds up the road, they would have forced another lap into the race, and their teammates in LMP2 could have overcome the Into the Points car and stolen victory away for this connection. So Oliver Perukian was very lucky as his connection was on the fritz as Alloy gets up to 4th now, just 9 tenths behind Rance. Big gaps, actually. It's really only Chris Davis, Francisco Pires that are within half a second of Liam Rance. So yes, he's definitely Alloy improving to 4th, which is exactly where he needs to be. Remember, Alloy and Rance have got no ballast whatsoever, whereas those around him, I think Pires, Davis, and Homewood, for example, have all got a little bit of ballast on board.
I tell you what, though, it is quite nice to see that our car's on top at the moment as well. We're first.
Yes, no fault so far. We've always
12th,
seemed to have to play second best to Coach Eric and to the Iris cars, and they all seem to not be here tonight. We have still got 14 drivers in the field, which is pretty impressive. Yellow in sector 2, but that's cleared now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to take
continues, trying to close the gap. There's Mathieu.
I think it was Thomas Mahir as well. He went off in that second sector.
Perez
He's slow everywhere.
The fastest middle sector of anyone, 51.3.
And the first.
Oh no, actually Rance has just beaten it. So,
so that's
both
an
of
old
them.
graphic.
It's Perez versus Rance then, as we get into the final 6 minutes of qualifying.
This is a dangerous little game they're going to play. What's it going to be towards the line then? Keep an eye on the timing screen. And he goes top, pole position, 140.122. He's 2 tenths quicker than Liam Rance then, but Rance has got the fastest first sector, but he's drifting it nicely as he comes into McCullough.
Yeah, he was saying, the thing about this car I've noticed is that the more I drift it, the faster I go, it seems.
Yes, yeah.
So that'll be interesting in the road, because he's still saying the tyres, they seem to hold up really, really well. And look at the smoke coming out the rear. He is gaining every little inch he can get out of this Subaru. He's got one of his teammates up the road. That looks like As we see the number as he turns in, that looked like Valente actually. As we see yellow in the final sector.
Oh, more drifting.
He's just cut it in. It's a 51.3 in the middle sector, so he's personal best, but a little bit slower than. It's going to be very, very close. Here we go. Is he going to get a little bit of slipstream off of Valente as he powers towards the line? Valente himself on a couple of personal best laps. So here we go. Rance gets up to second, so he just falls 2 tenths. No, he beats him.
It's pole.
There we go, but only by a narrow margin. I told you it was going to be close. I didn't think it'd be 300ths of a second close. But there we go, and he presses on. Where did Valente improve to? He didn't improve. He's still down 11th.
Yeah, he was down as well on his previous lap time by about a tenth of a second, so he too was fractionally close as well. Pires comes into the pit lane, Rance top, Pires second, Davis third as well, and
Davis on an outlap.
Yeah, so he's going to go for it.
Have not given up on going for pole. Remember, they did get pole at the Nordschleifer, I think, literally just because I think Chris Davis, or was it McHugh? I can't remember. I think it was McHugh, wasn't it? That him and Boros just carried on, and everyone else gave up because it was such a long lap, and they were all holding each other up.
Yeah. Homewood improves to P5 101.41 119 as Davis approaches the line to start a lap. CNRS first up there as well. Got to drift those rears. It's a downhill segment of the track as well. It drops down quite about 6 stories as well. It drops down. It's a very big change. The camera doesn't do it justice.
Yeah, there we go. I was hoping the onboard. Maybe if I had it the nose cam, it might have done it a little bit more justice. But there we go, Chris Davis. And of course, these are tracks for Grand Prix guys, as we see the Fringavond just slotting out behind him at the pits. But Davis, what's the time going to be in the first sector? It's a personal best, 24.5, but that was a little bit off of what Rance and Pires were able to do.
To Desiga Delada, up now the hill towards Ferradura. Now you start to climb up as well. This is actually a different configuration to what the original Interlagos was, because at the original part of the track, this was running reverse. So
it was, the original version of the Autodromo Carlos Pache. Of course, won by Carlos Pache, and they named the track after him. After Pache lost his life, sadly, I believe, in a airplane accident.
I think it was, yeah.
Which was very sad for especially for the Brabham team who he drove for at that moment. But his one and only win coming here at Interlagos as is that Petravki sliding into 4th position there in the sister Lev speed. As here we go, Davis gets through the elevation change, goes towards the final corner. He's set a purple middle sector, so the track improving all the time.
Chris
Davis goes wide. Has he ebbed away time there? And it's just a drag race to the line now, isn't it?
Liam Rance might be breathing a sigh of relief because he's going to lose so much time, Chris Davis.
No, Davis has given up.
The Delta must have told him he was down.
Aloy is set best first sector of anybody.
Yeah, Aloy's up in that first part. What is it?
Yeah, we saw this before, and then someone came out ahead of him, didn't they?
Yeah. So it's a 24.428 in that first sector, and he is faster. The second sector coming up now.
Fastest again. It's Aloy who was struggling at the beginning of the session, starting to get to grips, but has to have a couple of goes at the wheel, and now uphill he goes through the final couple of corners, and it's a flat-out straight. Is this going to get him into the top 3, or possibly into pole position with 2.5 minutes remaining in the session?
On those hard compound tyres as he fires it towards the line. 1:40.093 the time to beat.
And he's done it! There we go, a 1:39.9. Excellent lap by Nassim Aloy. And boy, we know he's going to leave immediately after race 1 because he's a hungry fella. and Ramadan waits for no one.
1-2.
Very unbiased commentary there from Joshua Birch. But
now simulation. We need Valente to get into 3rd place, and we've wiped out the podium.
Yeah, well, Alessandro down in 12th now, actually. He's continuing to really struggle. There he is in the foreground, actually.
Oh, big slide.
Yeah, so all that weight at the back, this is a really bad circuit. You can see why Iris maybe have skipped this one. Because
they're going to have maximum ballast.
Yes, Carl Magnus Bore, all 3 of their cars would have had to deal with ballast because Tobias Bumschein, of course, has a penalty left over from Silverstone that he's yet to serve, which is to drive a max ballast.
Yeah, does the touring car still have dropped the worst result?
Oh, and I don't think so. I think that's just a Formula E thing. As there we go, Valente has to start another lap. Lovas Bolix has got up to 5th as we saw Valente just sliding through the center S there. And Spolix actually it says Bolx. I think I've been saying it wrong all these years.
Oh, but, no, really?
Yeah, I've been calling him Skazbolix when it's actually Sazbolx.
Sazbolx, okay.
interesting. I think it's an Eastern European. Oh, there was Valente arriving sideways into turn 3 there.
1:39.745 for Liam Rance takes pole
Oh,
position.
there we go. Just under 2 tenths ahead of Nassim Alaoui. So the battle is joined between those two, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I have a feeling this could rage between the two. But it's the this is great for the constructors, but in terms of the drivers' championship, Valente not having the cleanest run of things. He is a whole 2.3 seconds down on Liam Rance. It may not sound much.
Yeah.
With 30 seconds left to go. Valente is up against it. Oh, and Nassim Alaoui's just posted a thing in the chat. Let's go. So I think his qualifying's done there. And Liam Rance, it's just a matter of... I don't think he's going to be able to improve. He seems to be slowing down a bit there.
One problem I've got as well is that if they come together, we've got... and yeah, as Pires and Pits, if these two come together at some point during the race as well, we're the team principals, so we've got to deal with it.
I said to them, look, you're allowed to race. Team orders won't come in until the closing stages, and that is provided as Alessandro Valente. Is he still on a lap there, or is that qualifying over? No, that's it. So 12th, only 2 cars behind him then. So Valente, with Eggert right in front of him, both of them have really got it all to do. I expected Eggert to be up front then, but I believe it's really only a couple of drivers left running. Chris Davis on his last lap, personal best in the first 2 sectors, but he is a little bit he's not too far behind the leaders actually on this lap, so let's see as he powers towards the line. 5 seconds here.
It's
3, 2, 1. Is he going to get into the top 3? No, he stays 4th, but it is fastest in the final sector. He was just short of beating Pires there, but that looks like everyone has done their runs now. Or is Nick Homewood and Ben Boros still out there? Homewood down in 8th, Boros down in 9th. I believe Boros is set a 41.43.6, is that? Was his last lap? Yeah.
I think Pascal Eggert's still out there as well. His time hasn't gone blue on the screen as well. Liam is back in the pits, I believe. We saw that happen, but here comes Homewood then. Out of Magullo, up towards Junkao, and he's down in the 2nd sector.
Yeah, here you go. He makes his way through Junkao, or in English as we call it, the junction.
Yeah. Not how David Crofty pronounces it as Zhengzhou, because it's Junkao. That's how you pronounce it. I've had an actual Brazilian person come up to me and tell me it's Junkao.
Oh, this is
not
the
Zhengzhou.
Juganyu all over again. As Nick Homewood goes as far to the inside as he can, but it's only good enough for 8th. Fringavond will not start better than 3rd with Pires, of course. But then Schumann 6th, Homewood 8th, Eggert down in 11th.
What is grid we've got coming up? Final thing of Crofty as well, actually, is I love him to bits as well, but I'm very much looking forward to that. Rachel Brooks is back with the Sky team this weekend, and she'll be taking free practice wrongs commentary. So even though I'm doing my own commentary on that, because I'm on my own, I'll have Sky faded up just in the background of my ears, so I can always throw to them if something interesting's happening. But I'm very much looking forward to hearing what she's going to say for the first time this year. Anyway, here's the grid. Go on.
Yeah, that's the grid then. Let's go to the grid then with Liam Rance. In his debut for Hunter Burt Simulation, his debut in the EERC Touring Cars, getting his Subaru Levorg onto pole position with 1:39.7, ahead of his teammate Nassim Alaoui, who really improved leaps and bounds as the session went on. Francisco Pires will start 3rd for Finavon Motorsport, ahead of Chris Davis in the Lev Speed, Lovers Sazbolks in the number 44. Peter Schumann in Finavon number 13. Unlucky for some. Let's hope Peter Schumann can make good use of it. Maximilian Petrafsky will be 7th, with Nick Homewood starting 8th, ahead of Brent Boros, Thomas McHugh. And then the rest of the grid is as follows. Pascal Eggert 11th, Alessandro Valente 2nd in the championship down in 12th, with Farago 13th, and Varga in HVML, the 2 HVML cars taking up the rear then in the 21 and the 88. And this is a bad time for the thing to freeze on me.
Oh no! Oh, yep, okay, we had graphics.
I'm trying my best here, sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you have to commentate and do all the thinking at the same time.
Well, we had a car on the grid, but it's just popped back to the pit lane, so that was Liam Rance, who is still waiting to get in.
There we go, so we're waiting for Liam Rance, Sazbolks, Homewood, Boros, and Valente to either get into the server or just to get onto the track, really, and out of the pits. So
he has in the YouTube chat says go Green Goblin Subi.
That's an interesting thing, and of course, great livery by I think Pascal Eggert and Nick Homewood took charge of livery, so it's great from our friends at Frinavond. And Nassim says, I never thought I could do a 39. Well, he surprised himself that it must be all that hunger. So it really shows the sort of dedication. And I always admire people of the Muslim faith who observe Eid, who practice Ramadan. So here we go, the race about to begin then. So Liam Rance on pole position from his teammate, and we get going now, and we're underway in Interlagos. And unfortunately this camera shot doesn't give us a good, but there we go, the sim on the inside, but it's Liam Rance who takes a clear getaway, and the chaos, it's all going to be going on behind. Here's Pires holding off.
Contact!
Here we go, and as Bolts gets in front of Chris Davis there, so good move by him. As just behind you see Valente getting up to 8th then, great start by him. He's got all that ballast and he's going to feel it all the way on the run down to turn 3, as some of the HVML cars hitting a bit of trouble in the background. But there we go, and oh, look at this, Alawi under threat from Francisco Pires, and there's a big lockup by Liam Rance, but he just about survives, and that looks like a Petrafki who was trying to get back in front of Saz Bolks.
And it's all getting very messy further back as well, as now around the outside as well. Pires trying it on Alawi, not working out that time. Inside into Ferradora, hasn't worked. So that's that position covered for another half a lap. Meantime, Davis had a terrible start. Scruffy everywhere.
Oh, and Valente trying to go around the outside of Boros there, and he's done it. Wow.
And Valente's moved up from P11 as well, so he's moved up into P7. He got the best
and Petrafki
start.
being under attack from Saz Bolts here. So Lovat is recovering. Oh, and they're side by side again through here in the battle for 5th position, and Petrafki comes out on top, but Davis right behind Pires and Alawi then, so a little battle going on for 2nd position. Alawi in defensive mode, and Pires goes a little bit wide. Will this let Chris Davis attack into the center S? Here we go. It looks so slow, but they're building up so much speed, these guys, aren't they?
Faster, 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 every single second as well. Put the foot down, you put your foot down on the throttle, I should say, you get quicker. And now look at Pires trying to go around the outside of Alawi into the centre S. It's a downhill segment, needs to get the braking zone right as well, but both Hunter Birch simulation cars lock up in the first corner.
Well, there we go, but Pires could not find a way through around the outside, and Saz Bolts still trying to fight with Petrafki as Boros has got back in front of Valente. So Valente now really feeling the pain of all that ballast. Says, look at this! Alawi under real attack now from both Francisco Pires and Chris Davis. Pires on the outside having a go at turn 3, and Alawi's having to go put all the anchors on, and he's left the door open. Pires is up the inside of him into turn 4.
It's going to be very close to contact, but Alawi has the inside line coming into Ferradora, and Pires going to have to hold him around the outside. He's going to get pushed wide as well as contact between the two. A little bit of door banging as we're on board with Alawi trying to hold that steering. Dives down the inside, brakes lane, floppers him long. There's still contact. Davis not getting involved until he knows he can make the move. He's thinking about it, taps the back, but it's all okay. Fair racing between these guys.
Yeah, that was brave that stuff by Pires on the outside, and somehow made it work as Alawi immediately trying to attack again and almost bumps Pires round there, and that allows Chris Davis to try round the outside, and Magulio, and they bump again.
Oh, he's off into the wall! Bang! Out goes Alawi. He's got suspension damage with that one.
Oh no!
And Varga has also gone off the track. He's got restarted. That was at Ferradora. Alawi's down to 12th position. Wow!
Yes, and look at that steering. Does not look all that healthy. Let's see on the straight as the Fring of On cars, Homewood and Schumann, fighting just ahead of him actually.
Yeah, Schumann's on the outside line. Homewood's on the inside, coming across the pit lane now.
There we go, so Homewood's getting past Schumann, but it is now Rance leading Pires, leading Chris Davis, leading Petrafki, Saz Bolts, Boros, McHugh, and then Valente. So Valente really struggling now as Peter Schumann has to slot in behind. And look at this, the battle for 3rd place there between, it's actually 4th, isn't it? Because Petrafki is really on the defensive now from Saz Bolts and Boros.
Yeah, Petrafki's going to have the inside line coming into...
And Valente trying to go around the outside of Thomas McHugh as well, just behind.
Oh, it's all getting so messy at the moment, isn't it? You know,
McHugh goes wide! Oh, but just rejoins in front. And Saz Bolts is still trying to go around the outside of Maximilian Petrafki. So left speed have really been making ground in this race, haven't they? In those white and cars with the national flags on the top.
Yeah,
Petrafki goes really wide and almost loses him. Saz Bolts almost has to go right to the inside in avoidance. And they bumps into him! And they go wide and they bump again. And that's very aggressive there by Boros, actually.
Yeah, that was
he makes it through.
Yeah,
and I think the Sim Alawi will feel a little... Oh, and it happens again.
Boros is getting bullied out there as well. He's going to get to the side swipe and then both off.
Oh dear, that was very, very messy between the two, and there could be recriminations afterwards. As look now, Valente is trying to go all the way up to 5th place here, around the outside of 2 cars, and one of them is very damaged indeed. They can't go through 3 wide. Valente gets knocked around, and oh my goodness, he's a pinball there.
I was about to say that.
And all the 3 and 1 cars make their way through, and Aloy is going to get a good run on him as well. But it is carnage here at Interlagos.
Valente looks to be a little bit damaged on that one as well.
Yes, Rance leads by...
Did you see that as well? Someone that was... I can't tell which one it was.
That looked like
white one.
Thomas McHugh.
Yeah, McHugh looked like he just tried to dive bomb. Yeah, it is Thomas McHugh in 6th place. Tried to dive bomb Homewood off the track. It almost looked like he was trying to target him.
Yeah, there we go. So we have to hope that Valente really struggling now. Is the steering okay? How much damage has the car? Because he got 2 very, very big hits there. Oh, that does not look good for him at all. And there we go. Through goes Bolks, who's recovering himself. He's not got any ballast. So.
It's going to feel like a shopping trolley now. It's damaged at both ends. How on earth
you
steer it?
Yeah. Liam Rance now leads up front by almost 4 seconds as there's more trouble behind. As Valente continues to fight. And Adam Varga gets into trouble. But there we go. It's we've certainly had a lot to talk about now. Still 15 minutes left in this race. And Aloy right behind and having a little look at Pascal Eggert. But it's Schoenman fighting Thomas McHugh. And Eggert's now going to have a go at him.
Eggert's going to be on the inside line. Schoenman falls to the outside. But the track winds up on itself as well. And it goes aggressive defence.
That's very, very aggressive from Eggert. And that could open the door for Aloy on the outside. Once again, Aloy not getting the space. But Eggert just about leaves a gap. And Aloy drifting. It's like this car can't turn it. How did he save that one? That and he did cat-like reflexes there. But the battle for 8th rages on then as Thomas McHugh holds on to 6th and tries to basically hold up a train of cars behind him. There we go. Schoenman trying another go around the outside then. He's got a face full of that Vauxhall in front of him, isn't he?
Yeah, that's going to be a problem as well, because where do you turn on the part of the track? Where do you find your braking zones? Drivers always pick out their own braking zones. You've got to find it. You've got a face full of car right in front of you, and now that's what Aloy is trying to do. Lay on the brakes. He's doing a coulthard here.
Make contact again. But Aloy's just about squeezed through there. And there we go. It's Boros now trying to attack Valente just behind. So crucial for both of these cars to get to the end of the race without taking too much more damage. But Liam Rance has checked out up front. Pires cannot respond to his pace. He was like 140.2 for Liam Rance on the last lap, 141. There we go, ramming into the wall again. He got tagged there. I didn't see who that was, Josh.
I think he got tagged by one of the 3 Avant cars, but I think it was a chain
was that
effect.
Eggert maybe? Yeah, I think Eggert was trying to hold on from Valente. He was trying to hold on from Boros. And he just all went, Boros! That didn't work. He got hit on the outside by Valente, who just didn't see him there.
Yeah,
Boros losing position then to Bolks.
Aloy went defensive on the inside line, came back across when Eggert was on the outside, and Aloy just drove into the side of Eggert. Nothing either of them could do. It was mainly Aloy who came across the front path of Eggert.
There we go. Now Valente wants to go at Pascal Eggert. So Valente, full credit to him. He's got so much ballast. He's had so many incidents in this race, but he's not given up at all. And that's what we love about Alessandro Valente. He's never say die attitude. Here we go, round the outside. Can he possibly turn this into an overtake with over 40 kilograms of ballast? Can he go all the way around the outside of Pascal Eggert? I think it's unlikely, but he's going to give it his level best, isn't he, Josh?
He's going to push across the start finish straight. He's lost traction now, but the track will come to him. He'll get the slipstream. If he has to dive to the inside line, it's turn 1. He'll get it, and Pascal knows this. Look how much track he's cutting across the pit lane to block that inside line. And Valente's really going to now, I think he's going to have to go defensive now.
Scout the Suzzbolks just behind. And this is the closest battle on track, really. And
Pascal's gone too deep. Valente's going to try now, swing around the outside and curve to Sol.
Yeah, there we go. But once again, the ballast coming into play. He's in the slipstream, but he can't really take advantage because he's trying to lug this heavy Subaru around the circuit. And this is what the success ballast does. As Boros is having a little look up the inside of Suzzbolks, but doesn't quite have the overlap to pull that one off. And there we go, Valente on the inside. Side by side they go. Who's going to come out on top here? Pascal has got the lighter car, but Valente's got the slightly better acceleration, but the ballast holds him back as we see Aloy trying to fight with Farrago in the background.
Yeah, slight love taps up there, wasn't it, up towards Ferradura? And now Valente on the inside of Eggert and gets the
lovely move there, just about. Oh, and over the curb goes Pascal Eggert, and now Boris is going to have a go at him, as is Sasbolts, who has almost made it through. He has it, he goes, into the air he goes, and into the wall. And Skazbolt, sure he'll be out of hits him for good measure. Nassim Alawi, who has been in the wars today, it doesn't get better for him, does it? But Skazbolts, I think that's him done then. So we could be seeing him starting again at the back in race 2. But meanwhile, the battle continues. Valente has somehow managed to get up into 8th place, despite having the heaviest car you can imagine around the circuit that is very, very fast corners and mainly a big straight, really.
He really said, look, this is my flying machine. It was fantastic. I've never seen a car launch like that before.
Yeah, I think Eggert might feel a bit sorry about it. I'm not sure that was entirely intentional, as Farago is being overtaken by Nassim Alawi, but Valente himself having to get very defensive there. But Farago spins! Well, I think he was losing that position and tried to cut back inside, and it didn't quite work out the way the HUML driver possibly intended. But Alawi up to 11th then. Valente continuing to hold on from Bence Boros. Boros isn't done with him yet, is he, Josh? Up the inside he goes into turn 3, and that's very, very late on the brakes. And Valente knew that was going to happen, didn't he? And look how wide Boros is going. We saw these two fight so much in race 1 at the Nürburgring in Nordschleife, didn't we? And Boros just fell short there. And Valente, the wise old head, keeping his tyres alive and using the better traction to keep ahead at all.
Boris is really in trouble now, isn't he? Look at him, he's sliding everywhere. He's cut his tyres.
That's going to allow Eggert to get through if he's not careful. Now, Valente's got Thomas McHugh in his sights. How is Thomas McHugh's steering looking? Looks alright. At this
point.
Here we go. He's got right in the mirrors as Boris has just cleared Eggert in the background. There we go. Valente going around the inside, but now that's the outside. So McHugh has got the advantage as they approach the junction through Mergulio, and look at the smoke coming out the back of that. Valente's pushing like crazy and giving us some great entertainment, which is exactly what we hided for. Up the inside he goes, but he's got the heavy ballast. Surely Thomas McHugh is going to sweep around the outside of him, and indeed he tries it, but Valente still taking the shortest line possible, trying to give himself as much advantage as he can as they approach the centre S, Josh.
He's not even cutting across the pit lane. He's trying to keep that car as straight as possible. Usually diving into the pit lane gives you a couple of tenths of a second, but he's going to have the inside line to the centre S. He needs to really shut the door before they get down to the curve of the Sol. He's trying it. He kicked the rear of the car out, and it's worked beautifully.
Boris getting through as well for good measure. It's all gone wrong for McHugh there.
And here comes Eggert as well. Eggert goes through.
Yes, there we go. So, and in fact, Nick Homewood is caught up to Petravki just not far in front of these guys. So I don't think Valente's done yet. Schumann is next in his sights in the Fring of On car, and that's Schumann who is about 4 seconds ahead. But Homewood now really getting in the battle for 4th. I think Homewood might fancy a podium here, but it is 7 seconds to Chris Davis then. Liam Rance now leads by 7 seconds. We haven't talked about him much in a while, have we? With 9 minutes left in this race. And he's done absolutely superbly.
And he, as you say, 4.6 ahead of Pires as well. This is looking fantastic again. Homewood's now in a battle to try and get towards the podium positions. I think that might have just gone. I think 4th's probably the best Homewood could do. He's 5 seconds away from where Chris Davis is.
With everything that's happened in this race so far. As Alawi finds himself dropping behind McHugh, so I think Nassim Alawi might be in some trouble here once again. Yeah, there we go. McHugh gets up the inside of him, so Alawi nursing the damage. And the Subaru, it's almost a shame because the only real solace from this is getting better. Reverse grip position as well. He desperately tries to get the inside there, but McHugh kind of already got the.
But it's Dodgems now.
And that was a bit desperate there. It's getting a bit harem-scarum between these two, isn't it? And Alawi kind of barged him out the way there.
Yeah,
almost an act of revenge.
Yeah. Also, lead on McDuff, lead behind McHugh is the saying now for Alawi, isn't it? This is fantastic. It's Homewood's trying to go back on the back now for 4th position with Petravki.
Yeah, I don't think Rory McDuff is in this race. He's one of the Irish guys. Alawi is actually dropped behind, and that's why he's completely lost it. But then McHugh has cut this corner completely as well, and that's going to compromise his exit. So this battle to not finish. To finish in the top 10 essentially rages on as look ahead, Valente looking vulnerable again, but once again he holds off Bence Boros. So I think it's defensive now. It's trying to be defensive for 7th position as Nick Homewood still mounting an attack on Maximilian Petravsky for 4th position. And can the Finavon driver find a way past the German?
Yeah, he's going to try, isn't he? He's got the run. I think Homewood's definitely got the better car here compared to Petravsky as well, but it's just Petravsky's making that Vauxhall as wide as possible. Look, Homewood's trying to go on the inside now. He'll try the late brake, but he just can't get the acceleration towards the exit. That's where Petravsky's gaining that time back. Homewood's got to try it on the straight and into the centre S.
There we go, Boris has dropped a little bit behind. So let's focus then on this battle, since it is the closest one on track at the moment with 6 minutes left to go. But it's looking very good up front. Liam Rance leads by almost 10 seconds now over Pires. And Pires, who's had a pretty good race himself, started third, got up to second now. But he's not really been able to hold a candle to the rookie. Liam Rance, of course, runner-up in the Endurance Championship in GT3, and still technically the championship leader, even though the Satellite Motorsport have decided to give it a miss.
Yes.
There's a championship, and Nick Homewood dives at the inside, brakes very late. You see the black lines coming out the back, but Petravsky tries to hold it around the outside, and Homewood is going to run out of space here, and indeed he does so. So he tucks back into the slipstream, looks to have another go into turn 3 then. So Nick Homewood, he's deciding to mount his counter-attack late on, isn't he, Josh?
Is he listening to me? I was just saying about where he needed to do it. He's doing it. Am I managing the Hunter Birch, or am I managing Nick Homewood?
Oh, here
at
we
the
go.
inside. He's too
Whoa.
far back. But if he gets a tight inside line, he might be able to slipstream up
Oh, and
towards
that
Ferradura.
Schuma's going really wide in the background. Schuma going to a different postcode, and Valente almost following him as he desperately tries to hold off Ben Sporos and maintain that 7th position. Every point absolutely crucial for Alessandro Valente at the moment.
Is it this way to Rio de Janeiro? I hear that's a better track.
Well, I don't know where that is, but Amarillo might be where Peter Schumann was heading for. Yeah,
well,
look at the block up behind there. There's Alessandro Valente using up all of the tyres, really, and Homewood now started to drop back a bit. He's going for he's trying really to put Petravsky off more than anything else as we go to the final 5 minutes now.
Well,
Valente.
This Peter Schumann as well. We saw his adventures yesterday, so it's just the continuing adventures of Peter Schumann with the Indiana Jones music in the background. But here comes Valente. He's still P7. He's holding Ben Sporos behind him as well, and Schumann's just in front of him. Another mistake from Schumann here. Valente will get 6th position.
And Ali is snuck back in front of Thomas McHugh, so I think the two wounded warriors near the back. And Ali, crucially, finishes in the top 10 because he's only doing the first races. Oh, Alessandro Valente looked like he was about to lose it and swap ends in the middle of the straight there. Alessandro
really
says, I am losing 1.2 on the start finish. He's just been able to chat that in the middle of the race, surprisingly. That's how slow his car is down the straight. that he's trying to chat.
That might explain the wiggle we saw was in regaining control, maybe.
Yeah, there we go. So up against it, and Valente will be hoping for the rain in race 2 because that might be a bit of an equaliser. He might make the ballast less of a disadvantage. As Nick Homewood has a little think, goes for the inside, there's the outside, and then almost loses it and goes all the way off the track, and that might allow Peter Schumann to go in. But Peter Schumann does the exact same thing, and Valente just a little bit too far behind it, and Boris going up. They're all struggling with turn 3. That's understeering like crazy.
This way to the EERC British Touring Car Family
well
Picnic.
on track to let the leaders through then. There comes Nick Homewood. And here comes Peter Schumann then. So Peter Schumann is now looking like he's going to fight Nick Homewood for 5th rather than Homewood looking to move up a place. Chris Davis has kept Francisco Pires very honest, 3.3 behind. But Pires now trails Liam Rance by 11 seconds. What an absolutely dominant performance. Here he is. We've not seen much of him. If you've been watching his stream, Liam Rance has probably been quite a quiet run for him. He's just been managing the gap and managing it beautifully.
He's probably had 3 spins and we just haven't noticed.
Do you think it's too late for Liam Rance to win this championship? I mean, we are only in round 4 of 10. If he wins all the remaining races and the reverse grid ones, then I could see Liam Rance getting himself into the picture. If I was Valente, I would feel a little bit worried, but he himself, given all the ballast he's got to deal with, has done a superb job. Boris has just fallen short, really, and he's kept Schumann and Homewood, who have much lighter cars, very much in his sights.
If anything, I'm sure he might win the Jack Sears Trophy, which I think we might need to bring in a variation of that.
Well, we did have an Independence Trophy that Aloy was leading until he joined us and became a manufacturer, manufacturer driver, I guess. But Boris, I think, is leading the Independence crown at the moment.
personally, I think we stand a good chance at the constructors.
Oh yes, especially with Iris nowhere to be found, and us in a winning position at the moment. First and 7th wouldn't be too bad, especially with Alloy in 10th as well to round it up.
Well, this is looking fantastic. More points, and of course, only 2 cars next. So I'm getting my racing boots on, and I'll.
Still 2 more cars than Iris have entered for these races.
Yes, so more points.
But yeah, and Alloy, I think after all the beating he's been taking, he's hungry as hell. I think he's very much earned his feast at the end of this, and the fasting will be over. As all Boros trying to hold off Eggert there, as it's being held up by Adam Varga. It looks like.
To be fair, I could go with some food after race 1. To be fair, it's making me quite hungry in this race.
This is why I tend to eat beforehand.
I did too, yeah.
Adam Varga nearly going up and doing what Skazbolks did, trying to fly. I think on reflection, the incident with Eggert, I think he was sticking it in when Eggert was already sort of in the middle of the road, and I think the collision was kind of inevitable there. I think I'm not sure. I don't think Eggert did anything too dirty. As Boris goes wide, and this could let Eggert through. Then here he goes.
Trying to look back on the inside line, and he's got him. Yep,
and Alloy's still keeping the both of them inside. I don't think Alloy's given up as we go to the final minute of the race, and Liam Rance leads by 13 whole seconds now. Very impressive, but Homewood has caught right back up to Petravki. And could well mount a challenge.
Sorry, you were on a bit delayed there. Homewood coming through then, trying to have the attack, but down to Ben Boris again. It's like he's almost still turning after turn 1. You know, he's still turning towards the left when it's time to turn right for turn 2. He's struggling with oversteer and understeer, that guy. He's got everything wrong with that car. Look at the understeer he's going to have now coming through to see Interlagos. He's fighting.
That's a last minute. Yeah, that does not look like a car set up very well. And Varga just gets out of the way for Alloy behind. He
was fighting understeer to begin with, then corrected it. Then he had to fight oversteer as well. That car, as you say, is not set up at all for this track.
Well, to be fair, they're not able to change the setup, so it's basically you get the default setups and you have to manage them as best you can. And Liam Rance has done it actually pretty superbly, but here we go, Nick Homewood. He's not going to have many more attempts then, as Liam Rance is about to start the final lap. He's got about 10 seconds to cross the line. Is he going to slow down to prevent there being a final lap?
Of course he is. He's got that gap.
There we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's Liam Rance who takes victory in Interlagos in his first race in the EERC British Touring Car Championship. And what a dominant victory it is. Even slowing down, he still wins by 12 seconds over Francisco Pires, who himself had a good drive to beat Chris Davis. But it's Petravki now, who's got 3 cars behind him. Nick Homewood, can he beat him on the run to the line? He's going to fall just short here. But here we go. It's Petravki who takes 4th. Homewood who takes 5th. Peter Schumann just holds off Alessandro Valente, who, despite all the ballast, is still able to get a top 7 finish, despite having a car only good enough to qualify 11th. They're all taking the... Eggert! Just beating Boros and Alloy, who finishes in the top 10. Thomas McHugh will power towards the line in 11. Is that Farago fighting him for position? It is. And Thomas McHugh's just overcome the HVML driver right at the death there in the battle for 11th position. But Farago finishes off, and it is Adam Varga who's already finished the lap down in 13th then. So I think we're just waiting for... and Skazbolks has predictably decided to call it a night then.
Donuts.
But there we go, donuts then for Liam Rance. But let's go through the race results, shall we? There we go. So it is Liam Rance who takes victory from Francisco Pires in the Fringhamond car. Chris Davis takes 3rd in the 75 Team Lev Speed entry. Maximilian Petravki in the other Lev Speed 20 in 4th. So it's a good day for Lev Speed actually. Or good race 1 at least. Nick Homer takes 5th. Peter Schumann takes 6th. Alessandro Valente takes 7th. Pascal Eggert 8th. Ben Sporos 9th. Nassim Alawi 10th. And then, of course, it is Thomas McHugh 11th ahead of Akos Farago, Adam Varga, and Lovers Skazbolks, who is the only DNF 7 laps down, I think, in the end, given such were his delays. And a little bit of discussion in the Hunter Simulation chat. So I think Nassim Alawi now is going to go away and eat some well-earned food now. But
absolutely.
Certainly him and Valente had a tough time. Boros was in the wars as well, as was Eggert. So some great battling in the lower order, but the top 5 really very static. Top 6 actually.
Yeah, it looked like that's a bit of a shame, but I'll take a race win, especially for Liam Rance on debut. So nicely done there, and it was a dominant win as well. That's a great thing for things to come. It's a great sign of things to come, I should say. Let's crack on and see the next race coming up shortly. And as we see, Liam Rance still in the pits. As things stand,
there will be a server restart before the next race. Restart.
So Nick Homer just confirming there'll be a server restart. But excellent drive. Liam Rance asks, how long do we have until race 2? Should be about like 5 or 10 minutes at most.
Not too bad then. Not too bad. As well.
Yeah, so there we go. So we'll just wait for the time being. But remember, race 2 will almost certainly be affected by the rain, which I believe is why they're doing the server reset. And of course, Liam Rance will be over the moon, and I've just sent a congratulations message. Don't want to interrupt in between, because him and Alessandro will, of course, be preparing for race 2. Alessandro says, I'll try and stay afloat in race 2, but I can't do anything.
I think he's done enough, to be fair, with which was a very interesting fight back as well. And let's hope he has a strong second race. So, a little break. Let's look at the calendar for the touring cars. We've done Barcelona, Silverstone, Nordschleife, Interlagos here today. The Buda International Circuit. I'm looking forward to that. That's on May the 5th, I think that is, that date.
And a little quick reminder of the Drivers' Championship at the moment. So, going into this, Sven Gierhard led by 13 points. Alessandro Valente finished 7th, got 5 points. So 13 minus 5, I believe, is about 8, isn't it? Or is it 7?
Yes. Megan's not in the box. You're asking me with his rubbish at mental math.
So 8 points. So if Alessandro Valente can somehow finish 4th, he will end this weekend in the championship lead. But of course, maybe with the extra ballast that Sven will have to deal with, if he goes in the lead, maybe he'll want to finish just behind him, then who knows?
That is incredibly tempting, and to be fair, I would do it. I'd want to go into the break with the championship lead, but because then you've got like a little bit more of a relaxed time ahead of you, not stressing about, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, blah, 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 blah. You know exactly where you are and what you need to do and how you need to do it. So I'm looking forward to that.
Sandra says, when I was trying to catch up to Schumann, I would lose time in his slipstream. And Eggert also ditched the hard stuff. Ditched the hard but fair stuff when racing. So, and he also says that he thinks Eggert was a bit over the limit during that race. So I'm interested to hear what Pascal's perspective was. I certainly think Says Bolks might agree with Alessandro, given what happened to him. But certainly the big story there, Liam Rance. Really, I think we're leading the constructors' points now by a fair margin now, with the 13 or so points that just alone that Liam Rance got. So what was let's have a brief look at the team standings while we're waiting. So remember, 15 points for first, 5 for 7th, and 2 points for 10th that Nassim got. So that would be a total of 15 plus 9, which is 24 points. In the standings, how far did Team Iris lead? They had 110 to 84, so 84 plus 24 is 108. So we're 2 points behind in the team standings, and about 5, like I said, 8 points behind with Valente in the driver's standings. So Iris haven't lost it just yet. But we're closing in. We've done half the job. Still half the job to go, though. And it's going to be very treacherous when we have only 2 cars. It's absolutely crucial that Liam Rance and Alessandro Valente get to the end.
Absolutely. So, do you want some little nuisance fact I've just been told by Jenny Gow? This is quite interesting.
Go on, then.
I think Jenny is beginning to lose her mind slightly, or is harkering back towards the past, because she's just put on, looking ahead to the race in Melbourne this weekend, we also reflect on events in Saudi Arabia 2 weeks ago and ask whether DRS is playing too much of a part in the racing.
That's your takeaway from Saudi Arabia, not the missiles like 10 miles from the circuit? Okay, Jenny.
It's who she's tagged, which I find interesting. She's tagged Jack Nichols, the program with Jack Nichols, Jolyon Palmer, and Andrew Benson. The only problem is Jack Nichols is in Rome, and this weekend the lead commentator is Harry Benjamin. Jolyon Palmer is working on F1 TV this weekend with Will Buxton. The co-commentator is Jamie Chadwick, and Andrew Benson's the only one there who's correct.
Yeah. Interesting. What do you think of Harry Benjamin? Because Jack John Amana says he thinks Harry Benjamin's a bit arrogant. To me, he's told me that in the past. He was one of the talent call guys who got into the top 15, if I remember correctly.
He's come out of nowhere, in my opinion, as Harry. But
he's got some very good management, like is it MIG or whatever they're called, who manages him, and they've been able to get him some really good gigs. And I'm amazed that F1 FOM. For Formula 3 especially, they've had enough confidence just to put Harry Benjamin on his own
straight away.
doing the whole thing. And I guess it makes sense. Alex Jacks is doing Channel 4 commentary, and we're about to come back from our calendar screen to the live coverage of a very empty pit lane with the drivers just rejoining. We will be at least one driver shorter with Nassim Alloy having to head off. But we should still have 13 drivers, only 9 in the server at the moment.
I think it's... I do like Harry's ability to commentate, but I'm not sure in terms of how quick these guys seem to be coming up and commentating on quite big ranks. I mean, I myself would not be expected if I was
Harry
in
Benjamin
position...
didn't do all the hard work in esports like we do, Josh.
Yes, exactly.
Is that the objection here?
Well, yeah. It's just
I can maybe see why Jack Jonamana thinks he's kind of arrogant. I don't know. I'm going to reserve judgment on Mr. Benjamin. I think he's been around a while. He's done lots of radio commentary as well. So I certainly don't think it's a case of him not doing his dues. But certainly, it's good to see FM embracing some new talent, even if it's people like, I don't know, Matthew Gallagher, who I absolutely can't stand in the esports side of things. But
give us the go. That's one thing that's always really annoying me. Is the fact
I'm sure we won't see anything controversial about the racing in Saudi Arabia as Eggert comes out of the pit lane onto. Well, I'm sure you would. They could buy your silence.
I was very much saying in Saudi Arabia that race should have been cancelled.
I think integrity is important, and certainly, especially when it comes to people's lives being threatened, and even F1, even GP Racing magazine did an article, and they're very pro Formula 1, obviously, because it's their series that they cover. Is slidey. That sounds like the grid is being set there.
One problem though, do you see any rain?
We might in a minute. It's the quali server, of course.
And now we're to warm up.
So we should be in the race fairly soon. We're rushing through, guys. And the server reset has forced a little bit of a complete reset, it seems. Nassim was also giving his take on Pascal Eggert's driving, and he says, I passed him and literally Pascal just pit maneuvered me. You have to kill them to pass them.
Oh my word.
Well, I wouldn't put it quite in that strong word, but Nassim, I think, very hungry. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt there. He's clearly needs to get some food in him, I think, before he makes more comments. I don't know why I read that out. That's probably quite incriminating. But anyway,
anything you do say may be taken down and given in evidence.
So, the big question now, we've got 2 questions. Can Liam Rance make it 2 from 2, Josh?
Yes. That's not even me being biased. I'm thinking, honestly, yes.
Well, we'll have to see how he manages the wet conditions. If they materialise. We're still in the warm-up. So I believe we're still waiting for people to join the server before we go into the race. Should be at least somewhere between 10 and 13. Depends. We're missing Valentes has come in the server, sorry. So we've got 9 drivers at the moment. We're missing both HVML drivers. Boros, who I know has missed race 2s in the past. I think those are the main 3. There might be someone else missing as well. Is one of the Ring of On drivers not there, Josh?
Can't see if there's anyone missing at the moment. We've only got 10 of them at the moment, and the live timing is not booting up what we need to boot up.
We got Schumann, Eggert, Nick Homewood, of course. I swear there's a 4th Ring of On entry that's missing there.
Well, the drivers are out on the track for warm-up, so they are warming up.
We have got 10 in, so someone has just come in. It's Farrago from HVML.
Aha! So we do.
And now Varga joins, so
yes,
there we go, 11.
There we go.
So, I think we've still got Boros, who we might be waiting on. But apart from that, it looks like this might be it, really.
Do excuse me, I'm having a bit of a coughing fit.
All good. And Yeah, certainly. Some great team spirit though, on the most part, from most of the teams, and I do hope Alessandro's is actually going to rain. He doesn't seem to think it will be, so maybe I've given inaccurate intel because Nicone and Eggert are struggling to get it to rain at the moment for race 2. But
I bless the rains down in Africa.
well, we're not racing in Africa at the moment. Well, that was Marrakesh yesterday, Josh.
Yes, alright,
And
then
it
I
certainly
bless the
didn't rain there.
rains down in Interlagos.
Well, that works too. See?
Yeah, that works too. There you go.
And Limrant says, if it does rain, then the front-wheel drive cars have an advantage because I'm already losing the rear everywhere. So you were right, Josh. He was half spinning all over the place, and we missed it because we were focused on the battles behind.
Yeah.
I did try and occasionally shout out to Liam. So, and there goes. That looks like Pascal just having a little adventure there.
Oops. Yeah, well, this is again the continuing adventures of the Final One cars as they'll come through.
Yeah, the
Peter.
bright orange for danger. It seems like a bumblebee, but Dutch.
What was it? Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee. Or something like that, isn't it? Float
Right.
like a butterfly, sting like a bee. There we go. Or I prefer the Cars version, which was float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer. That works better.
Wonder which Cars movie that was from.
First one, I think.
Okay, yeah, but the least bad of the Cars movies.
Silly spat.
Although I did see a meme going around, people comparing all the drama around the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix to the movie Cars 2, which wasn't it also about a really controversial oil sponsor in Cars 2, and there was missile strikes in that movie too, although slightly more child-friendly and less real.
All in all, I
don't recall Mater making any kind of statement about the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I think some kind of secret agent plot behind the scenes.
I think he tried to blow up the Queen instead. I can't remember that film really that much.
Well, I guess there was a royal family involved, so maybe the parallels in there.
The one thing that always bugged me about that movie is that it's just completely inaccurate. You're telling me that a Formula 1 car and a NASCAR could keep up?
Well, he's Lightning McQueen, so...
It didn't work.
I don't know. I wonder what gives... it's a toss-up between what's least accurate and gives the worst impression of motorsport to the general public. Is it Drive to Survive or Cars 2?
Cars 2 actually teaches you as well that you can race on world circuits. Drive to Survive just makes up rivals left, right and centre.
Yeah, Cars 2 surprisingly uses Lewis Hamilton more accurately.
Yeah, to be fair, if I went in the F1 paddock right now, Netflix were there, and I dropped an ice cream cone, they would probably turn it into the biggest heartbreak of the season. Anyway, they'd be right, but they'll probably throw in the fact that I was having a rival with the guy who had an ice lolly over there, and it was what was it? Is it soft scoop or is it whippy? And the frozen section over there, Fab was getting involved and all that. No.
I'll tell you some good news with all my Lego Formula E cars that will probably come in handy over the weekend.
Absolutely.
Is that basically when I tried to do the Envision car, which is mainly green and blue, they didn't really have enough all the green bits I wanted, so they've literally Lego have made some of the green pieces for the car in the right colour. So I ordered them and they arrived today, which is good.
And ready for the race.
I've even done some stickers because the Mercedes, I didn't bother with the sort of 3-pointed stars that are all over the rear of the car. They're in blue. I'm not sure what that symbolises. I guess the fact they're world champions. But I've gone and put those on the car now, and even made the Nissan a bit more accurate because I gave the Nissan. Did I tell you that the Nissan PR social media manager contacted me?
Yes, you did.
I did, yes, and I went and he actually added some extra because there was like CFI, one of the sponsors. He's like, oh, they're pretty big on our car, and you didn't include them in the sticker sheet, so they should probably come on as we see
it's raining.
Valente coming. Oh yes, there we go. So Interlagos the heavens have started to open as we get into the warm up, and we'll be going for the racing. So I guess the warm up is just to let people get a feel for the conditions, so they're not going in blind into the first corner.
I see Nick Homewood managed to find the sprinklers.
A very Bernie Eccleston idea, no doubt.
Oh, poor Bernie. He got so much hard flack, didn't he? When he suggested that. And then we had one wet race, and then we were saying, like, yeah, we need that. That's what we need.
So much knee-jerk reaction from the media commentators, especially in F1, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's the one thing I don't like. We've got the sprint race coming up again at Imola in a couple of weeks' time. Everybody hates the sprint race. Every single
Well, the sprint
person.
race is,
Yeah.
again, it's a sort of trying to fix the qualifying system that isn't broken for a start, and it's trying to add. I can understand the point of view if you want more racing action over the weekend.
And just
you
extend the race distance.
less practice. Yeah, exactly. Well, and it's just the case of the sprint race suddenly affects the championship, so they try and make it so the sprint race doesn't have like points or doesn't affect the grid order because they don't
It's
want it
got
to undermine
8 now.
actual qualifying. As there we go, it looks like the grid being reset then.
Oh, it's dry.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Oh, is it about to rain again? We'll see. It could rain mid-race. You never know.
Well, that 10 minutes has actually enabled me to get my YouTube stream set up for practice 1 later. So.
Yeah, those 3 or 4 minutes of wet rain, that's all they're getting then. So,
Yeah.
Is it going to rain in the race? Is it not? Answers on a postcard, ladies and gentlemen.
Let's go back to the Alfborg camera there, because Pascal Eggert, I think, is the only car on the grid right now as well. So, oh no, there's someone behind him. Pires is there. So just behind him, you can see in the rearview mirror. There we
Sorry,
go.
I still had it on auto director. So
So-
there are 2 Prima Bond cars on the grid only, just Eggert and Pires. Liam Rance will start at the very back with it all to do. But Valente sort of back in the middle of the grid, I guess, with let's see, Saz Bollix will start on pole then in the 44, given that he was the last finisher. Just ahead of Varga, Farrago, Thomas McHugh and Boros. Then it will be Pascal Eggert, Alessandro Valente, Peter Schumann, Nick Homewood, Maximilian Petracchi, Chris Davis, then Pires and Rance at the very back. So, Liam Rance, I think this will be the real test, won't it, for him?
Yep, absolutely.
Despite him excelling
Can
in the
he get
first
the
race.
lead?
And don't
Yeah.
take nothing away from him, because that was completely on merit, even though he didn't have any ballast to it. Alessandro says, I'm going dry to start with. So, here we go. There's a bit of strategy going on here. Who is betting on the rain coming in immediately, and who is
Here we
taking
go.
their bets? Here we go. The light's coming on then, and it'll be Saz Bollix who leads away from Farrago. Here we go. Race 2 begins now, and a little bit of wheel spin for all the drivers, but Valente gets a great getaway there and gets already up to 4th position. He's trying to go around the outside of Thomas McHugh, but Saz Bollix holds the lead. Oh, Valente goes very, very deep, almost knowing they'll have to defend, and there's a bit of
What a
carnage behind.
start!
And Boros spins it! And there's one that bring up that looks like Nick Homewood going very, very wide and rejoining just in front of Liam Rance.
Oh,
Liam Rance
Jack
spins
Davis.
almost Chris Davis there unintentionally, but they both keep going. And Valente
look at
is trying to
Valente!
go for the lead.
What a start for Valente! He lightninged off the line from 7th, and he's
Oh, here it
taken the
goes! And
lead!
they're in contact! And Saz Bollix gets pushed out
Big
wide, and
off.
it's all
Eggert
gone wrong
and
for us. And one of the Prima Bond cars into the kiddie litter there. I think that was Eggert.
Oh,
Double,
Valente
and
gets
Valente goes
attacked.
wide. And now Saz Bollix is going to try and go back around the outside of him. And all that ballast, Valente's going to be on the defensive this entire race. And if it rains, Valente's going to be in a lot of trouble with that rear-wheel drive car. As, look at Saz Bollix giving it everything in that number 44 independent entry.
Look at the tyres, he's on softs, so that explains why he got such a great start. Valente, he's on the softest compound
Yes,
available.
Liam Rance has got up to 8th, and McHugh has to avoid Saz Bollix the last minute as they go into the hairpin there, and he's going to get a little run around the outside. So the Levsby cars of McHugh and Petracchi will work together to try and clear Saz Bollix, and then they'll be able to chase Valente, who is vulnerable, especially down the straights, as we see Liam Rance battling away with Nick Homewood in the background there. Homewood just losing out then to Rance, who continues to make progress. He's up to 7th now already, despite starting at the very, very back of the field.
Fantastic action then on the opening lap as well, as Rance going to have to go defensive. Homewood's going to look to the outside line, going to try
And
and
is Liam
swing
Rance on the
through.
wet tyres there?
Yes,
He
he
might
is.
come in to change them then.
Oh, Valente pits. Valente's in the pit lane. Valente's in the pits. So he's given
Oh.
up the race lead. He's gone
Has
for
it started
wet tyres.
raining? Is that
Yes.
why?
Yeah,
He
look
was
how
on the
hard
wrong
it's
tyres.
raining.
So there we go. But Liam Rance really having to defend now, and the track will come to him now. And it's going to be a case of who is on the right tyres, as the rain will bucket down in spades. Surely, with 20 minutes left in this race, it could all change. Valente pitting now for the right tyres will
he's
pay
on-
out.
look at
as
the
there we
two
go.
left
That looks like
speeds.
Davis trying to battle Homewood, and he gets ahead on the outside. But he's got
Petrovsky goes to the lead.
yes,
he's taken
Petracchi's
through.
got by Saz Bollix. Yes,
Oh,
we've
and
completely
Saz
missed
Bollix goes
that.
back through,
Oh,
yeah.
the Prima Bond cars still battling away.
They're all just changing positions left, right, and centre. Some of them are getting
Saz
traction,
Bollix
some
has
of them
got back
aren't.
ahead, so McHugh has made a bit of a mess of things. And CS Bolts, if he holds up the field, this will really play into the hands of Liam Rance, who's absolutely on the right tyres. And he's one of the few that is. I think one of the Fring Avantes might also be on wet tyres, Josh.
I think Petrowski went too deep into Casino Interlagos as well, and that's what cost him the position. He's got the inside now on the Interlagos as well. Gonna get the traction, and gets through.
Yes, Thomas McHugh for Ireland leads in the lev speed, but he's on the outside now. CS Bolts has defended really well so far as Petrowski goes very, very wide. And that looks like Schumann following him as well. And at the inside goes CS Bolts, and he pushes McHugh wide. So it's all about the exit there. And look, Liam Rance is holding off Chris Davis now. But has the rain stopped? It looks like it's coming and going. So Liam Rance, the gamble might not necessarily go in his favour. Valente is dead last now on his wet tyres. So it looks like Liam Rance may have told him to pit. And maybe that was the wrong call. But there we go. McHugh takes the lead then. Up the inside, can CS Bolts defend this? Oh, he goes wide.
He's gone too deep. He's gone too deep, and he's going to nearly go on to the behind the Armco barrier.
So it's really wet at the first corner. So off he goes, just in front. And there we go. Chris Davis is trying to go around the outside and makes contact with Liam Rance. This is getting a bit hairy, isn't it? Liam Rance. Let's go on board. There we go. He's up the inside, and they hit again.
Yeah, Schumann's
Chris Davis really getting his elbows out. And now, look, Homewood having a go as well. Into turn 3 they go.
Oh, it's late. No, it's very late. They're going to make contact.
He's got the inside on Davis, but those wet tyres, are they going to give traction in this part of the circuit? This is changing all the time, and Petrowski goes wide.
And he's lost a position now to Schumann second, Pires there, Petrowski down.
So this is playing into Fring Avant's hands.
Yes, it is, and that's really annoying from our point of view, because our drivers are now struggling on tyres that aren't working in certain
Liam
parts of the
Rance
track.
fighting to make this strategy work, hoping the heavens play to his advantage, and slipping, sliding all across the infield in this Interlagos circuit. Chris Davis is going to go all the way around the outside of him, surely.
Petrowski's taken second position as well. He's gone right round the outside of Pires and Schumann as well, so that's a great move.
Great recovery then by Petrowski. So the Fring Avant's actually really struggling. I think Schumann might be another one of those guys on wet tyres. Let's have a look. No, he isn't.
Dries.
They're both on the yellows.
Mediums.
It's the mediums then. So it's the leaders are both on the soft tyres. So lev speed 1-2, Fring Avant 3-4, and then it's chaos behind, really, isn't it? CS Bolts holding on to 5th position from the pole position. And here comes Liam Rance.
Homewood's trying to go around the outside of Liam Rance as well. Rance now going to take the inside line, gets ahead. Homewood's still trying to hold it back. Outside manoeuvring towards turn 1. Rance going to have to go really late on the brakes to make the move. He's locking up that inside front tyre. Homewood does the switch back, and that was Rance on the wrong tyre, the wrong place.
Oh, there we go. And Pires and Schumann battling away. So there's still a chance, if these guys run into each other, that Liam Rance could get a result here. But Valente, has he switched back from... Oh, dear. Clearly on the wrong tyres there. Something's gone horribly wrong for Valente. And I wonder if he might not be finishing this right. Virago, clearly very damaged coming into the pits then.
And it's raining. It's raining now.
It is starting to rain again. So Liam Rance suddenly back in the box, as long as those tyres haven't burned up. It's changing every lap, isn't it? And look, all the leaders together in the line. That's the top 8 all together then.
And Eggert's going right round the outside of Boris. Homewood's taking Davis, but now they switch back again. Eggert has now taken Boris into Fernandorda, so up to 9th position as well. Eggert, I think, as he's on wet tyres now. You can tell Rance is on wet tyres, and he's starting to come to him now as well. You know how wet this track gets, even the
Alessandro Valenti's PC just crashed, so that's it for him. So he will not lead in the championship lead, as it looks like Homewood is challenging Davis just in front of Liam Rance. So I wonder if those wet tyres it's not raining hard enough, I don't think.
No, it's just spitting, I reckon, at the moment. Light rain and the slick tyres.
Yes, and Valente is really... It would have been so much more frustrating to have that crash if, as Petrowski takes the lead from Hugh, if Valente was leading on the PC crash and hadn't pit for wet tyres.
Oh, look at that! And there's big contact into the wall. 3 cars involved from the back. Shots bollocks as well, with Rance just getting through.
Oh, yeah, there we go. And that was hitting the advertising. And yes, says Bollocks just hit Chris Davis.
Is that McHugh? Yeah, McHugh drops down massively at the first corner. Didn't even have any rear brakes. So it's really
just went
wet.
way too. Got a wheel on the grass, and that was all she wrote. And my PC's very, very far behind, I'm afraid. So I'm reacting to things about 50 minutes too late. But there we go. Petrowski continues to lead from Schumann and Pires and Homewood. It's Fring Avant 2-3-4 at the moment. Chris Davis holds off McHugh. Liam Rance still holding in there on his wet tyres, hoping that the conditions get worse and play into his hands. But he's the only one on this strategy, and it's really a bit too late to back out now, isn't it? He's still got the lead in sight, but so many positions to make up. It's looking like he is well and truly up against it, but he's got Eggert, Zasbolix, and Boris, who've all crashed out of the way, and McHugh right in front of him, having just gone wide at turn. It's Lev Speeder looking a bit more vulnerable now. So there we go, up ahead. Davis being overtaken by Pires.
Yeah, now
it's Davis trying to get back past Pires. But look, here comes Liam Rance.
Yes! Now, the wet tyres start
now
to
it's
come
McHugh
in
going
now.
up the track. Oh, he hits him! And Liam Rance does well to hold on to that one. But look at this, the visibility is getting worse now. The wet tyre coming into its own. He's got 13 minutes to make his way through the pack here, Liam Rance. But Petravki has just got to hold on in the lead and make sure he keeps it on the island as all the Pringavon cars battle one another.
This is really tense stuff now as well. Really treacherous.
Could we see Nick Homewood pull up a shock victory here on those purple tyres? Because Petravki isn't quite pulling away from him.
I guess the purples must be intermediates, maybe? I can't tell what they
Chris
are.
Davis still fighting for it to go. And that's a big impact indeed. And Liam Rance just finds his way through. Peter Schumann instantly going into the pits. I think he's going for wet tyres. There we go. And that's a very awkward situation. Peter Schumann has to reverse into his box. The number 13. That was terrible luck there. What happened there? McHugh just making several mistakes and going all the way off.
Yeah, McHugh really
Liam
bad
Rance
now.
incredibly now into the top 3 because so many have pit because the rain has got significantly worse here.
This is working out big time. Now, Homewood must be on wet tyres. There's no doubt about it.
Some kind of transitional. What are the purples? I forget what they are.
Inters, maybe?
Could be, yes. And Petravki, though, has done incredibly well on what looks like dry tyres to really just stay up front.
No, he's on the same.
No, he's on the same as Nick Homewood. So both of them, it's only Liam Rance who's gone for this strategy. So, of course, we all knew it was going to rain, but we didn't know when or how much, did we? And now it's played out as Davis continues on. So the left, it's all starting to go away for Lev Speed at this point with 12 minutes from. They're still leading, but by a much smaller margin now, and with Liam Rance flying at the moment. And look at the rain as it comes down here.
Really bad now through the middle part of the track as well. And those on the purpley pinky tyres has to be a wet tyre. There's no way they can keep on the track and still set okay sector times if it was anything other, because we would have seen Rance pass them
there we go.
massively.
The track goes really wide, and this could be the opportunity for Nick Homewood to take the lead. Nick. And he has to do it sharpish because Liam Rance is charging. He was nearly 4 tenths faster in that final sector. It's beginning to really go into extreme wet territory. And the Inters, they were the tyre to be on for this opening phase of the race. That could change now. Here comes Nick Homewood.
He's going for it! He's going for it! And he's being pushed into the wall! Homewood's going to take the lead! Lay on the brakes, but look at that! Look up from Petrovsky, and he is going wide! Homewood takes the lead!
Oh my goodness me, and Nick Homewood, the first time ever, leads to a race in EERC Touring Cars, but now Petravki will surely be at the mercy of Liam Rance.
I'm more excited about Nick Homewood taking the lead than one of our own drivers, because here comes Liam Rance. Look, now we're going to be in a position where do we want to see our friend win or our driver win? This is fantastic!
10 minutes to go, as Pires, Boros, Davis, McHugh, Eggert, Sasbolix finally dive for the pits then. And a big shame for Valente, his PC crash, because he'd be right in the mix for the podium now had that not happened.
So
here comes Liam Rance.
Look at the standing water coming up the inside of Ferradora. Rance has got the extreme tyres.
Look at that confidence. He's kept the time alive somehow in that opening phase of the race. And the rear sliding out. But he just completes the move. And Petravki down to third then. So it's a matter of holding on for him. Look how wide he's going. I think that's what happens when you chew through the Inters, isn't it?
Yes, they've gone. And Rance is burning rubber.
The wets aren't doing too much better though. I wonder if Nick Homewood might have done just enough to keep the tyres alive. He's got, look, 3.6 seconds is the gap now. So Homewood just really has to survive the final 10 minutes. But Liam Rance, we saw how good he was in race 1. He can manage this. He can catch up to the back of him, and hopefully it's just a matter of doing exactly what he did to Petravki, just diving up the inside. For Nick Homewood, it is, I can win this if I stay out. If I pit now, the best I can do is maybe 4th or 3rd.
It's still raining out there because we can see the droplets of the puddles that have formed on the circuit off the racing line. But the racing line looks okay. Look at the standing water at the top of the track.
It's a lake on the outside, and that is exactly where we saw several cars crash earlier. There we go. Petravki bails He's had enough. He wants full wets.
Well, when's Homewood going to pit then? Is Rance's tyre still okay? Look at this. This is, I tell you what, this is, I'm starting to wonder. This is, Homewood's made
little
an
slide
error.
from Homewood on. Liam Rance as well to save it as well. Look at how much he's pushing. 2.2 seconds of the gap. He's taken another second out of Nick
Rance is
Homewood
struggling.
and somehow kept it on the arm. That was Fernando Alonso-esque, wasn't it?
It really was. That was beautifully held, and I'm wondering if they might throw the red flag if it is too bad out
Can
there.
they do that though?
Well, I think they could stop it, can't they?
They could, but the red flag would usually only be if there's a server issue, not if it's too wet. If it's too wet, tough.
Well,
You've got to manage it.
I think the problem is as well that they did not anticipate how wet it was going to be.
How wet it is in the pit lane. I'm surprised they were able to even exit. It must have been absolute carnage while we were watching the leaders battle.
There was a couple of yellows, weren't there? But I'm just wondering as well, because I don't think they know how hard they've set the rain to be. Because this is monsoon.
It's almost like, we can't get it to rain. We've got to put it max rain.
Yeah, and they're starting to pay for it now. But I just wonder if they might, if everyone starts slipping off and it really is beginning to get a little bit silly, they might throw the red flag and just declare it from the last complete lap. But we'll keep an eye on it. Right now, it's just about manageable. If it gets any heavier, then they will have to stop it. There is a limit, even in esports, because look, it looks like a river at the
Yes,
outside
there's only
the track.
one line, and away from it, it is absolutely treacherous, Josh. There are ducks swimming in the background, no doubt. That is how wet it is. It is. You need a boat, really, and thankfully the Subaru is the most boat-like of all these cars.
Right,
so,
nowhere leads. Homewood second, as they stand at the moment.
And they all part like the Red Sea in front of Liam Rance.
Moses is the race director. He's just giving us
we've
the
got some
line.
traffic up ahead, and that looks like Farrago really struggling. And Homewood 1.5 seconds ahead. Hey, is he going to die for the pits? No, he doesn't. So Petracchi's emerged back in fourth, and he's right behind Peter Schumann now, actually.
And we're watching Petracchi now in fourth position, trying to get behind Schumann as well. They're all just dancing with the racing line. They can't go offline because they instantly get spun round. And there's a yellow now in the third sector as well. Farrago in the pit lane, and they can't go off the racing line, Ed, because, well, to be facing, they'll drown.
Exactly, but Petracchi has got the best tyres, as Liam Rance also gets within a second of Homewood. But here we go, here comes the move from Maximilian Petracchi on Peter Schumann. Oh no, it isn't. He has to be really, really tentative and back out. Almost hits the back.
Yeah.
And there we go, he's going to go around the outside of the centre as they make contact. And Petracchi's on the wet stuff, he's on the curve. He has to be so careful with the traction not to spin out here. And my nose is really not taking well to this race, despite all the rain. My cold has flared up.
To be fair, same here. My nose would not stop running in this race. It must be the
But Petracchi is still alongside, but he has to back out then. And but there we go. Schumann goes wide. Through goes Maximilian Petracchi at turn 3. He's back in third position. And you know what? He could still catch Nick Homewood. Such is his pace at the moment. And even Liam Rance's tyres, has he used the best of his tyres? Nick Homewood has held on brilliantly. The gap 1.2 at the moment.
This has got to be an error as well. This amount of water, I would accept it was an error because this is ridiculous.
Has this gone exactly the plan, Josh? Because remember, it was Nick Homewood who told us that it was going to rain.
Yes.
Did he know this was going to happen? Did he plan for this? I'll go on Inters because I know Liam Rance is going to probably beat me if I just go for the same strategy as him. If I go dries and then full wets. But if I go for Inters, don't stop and just hold on. Maybe I can make it. As there we go, it looks like Bora's being passed by Egger. Egger's gone very wide, actually.
Yeah, he's gone out. He's gone out completely onto the off track at Ferradora. Oh, and Homewood's now searching for grip. It looks like he's going to the extreme limits as it's Rance on the water.
Oh, they both go wide. Oh dear.
It's getting too wet. I think even the racing line is starting to have some water running through it. So. If it gets a problem, I can't wait to see what they're going to do here.
Yeah, and it's so treacherous offline, so what a job Nick Homewood is doing so far to somehow keep the tyres in the right temperature, make sure they don't burn up, but also not go at all. And I think it's starting to become a bit too much even for him. Liam Rance is right on the back of him now. And wide he goes, and Liam Rance takes the lead.
I think I don't know what's going on here. You're braking and you're having more trouble.
Look how much he's drifting it though. It is a knife edge between staying off the track and flying off it.
This is getting a bit dangerous even for esports. I'm holding my breath up here. Rance sliding the rear again. He's on for 2 for 2.
Yes, but now Maximilian Petracchi 33 seconds behind, but on the same tyres as Liam Rance, extreme wets. A little bit of a twitch there, and Homewood, he'll thinking, I'm still in this, you know.
Yeah, he's not. Homewood's staying with it, isn't he? He's just got to keep on the dry part of the track. Rance's tyres are going to be cooked. Absolutely cooked. Because he's been on them since
But
the
he's
start
going to
of the
just
race.
pull away on the straights, though. He's just got to hold on through the corners.
Down we go again. Now it's Homewood. Look, they're both not trying to cool their tyres. Is that sunshine I see? It is. It's sunshine.
Oh no, Nick Homewood's going to be right back in this then. I thought this might be the point where he dives into the pits to sort of cover off Petrafsky, but no, he's going for the win here. He's staying out.
Land of the Four Seasons, it seems. Look at that. It's still raining, but there is still sunshine. And his rat's made a problem. His rat's got an error. Where is he? Homewood's gone through. They've both gone off. They've both gone off.
Well, Liam Rance has got back on though. Oh, there we go. Homewood has to skip most of the chicane there as Pascal Eggert continues to struggle and lets Boros through, but Boros goes really, really wide in the battle for 8th position.
Yeah, and through goes Eggert. No traction on that part of the track. No, now Eggert's been put. So they nearly went side by side again because Boros would have had the racing line and Eggert did.
They are
have the
both
racing
on
line.
the extreme
Yeah.
wet, so even on the right tyres, it is absolutely treacherous out there.
Well, this is certainly exciting. This happens in the World Endurance Leagues weekend. I'll be absolutely delighted as well. That's on Saturday. The 16th of April, so that's next weekend. You can join us for the EERC Endurance.
Yeah, final 3 minutes then, and you have to say, what a drive by Liam Rance to hold on.
Yeah.
Him and Nick Homewood, easily the standouts in this race, really. With Nick, I think, putting one of the best drives I've ever seen from him to hold on for so long with the intermediate tyres. But Boros now continuing to challenge Nick Homewood's teammate Pascal Eggert, and all the gaps starting to really grow now. The Inter's not the tyres to be on right now, as Homewood drops to 3 seconds behind, and he could even lose second to Petrafsky, who's only 27 seconds behind. But that gap could disappear if Homewood spins out. So it's a matter of being ginger on the throttle, isn't it? Gingerly as possible.
It started raining again, it's got darker, and it's raining much heavier now as well. So this is the heaviest we've seen it all race in the last 2 minutes. And now going wide, everyone's struggling. Everyone is struggling.
That's Eggert really struggling now as well to keep Ben Boros behind. But these two have had a real ding-dong of a battle as Peter Schumann now catches up to Petrafsky. So Petrafsky, I think, is a... Oh no, that's actually Pires has caught up to Schumann.
So Pires P5 catch up to Peter Schumann P4, as it's literally just a lake behind it as well.
Yes,
I wonder, though,
they call it Interlagos for a reason. In between the lakes, Interlagos is the lake now.
Yeah, and the drivers are in between it as well. I'm just wondering though, would they call the server issue the fact that the rain is way too heavy?
Well, I don't know, but there's a small part of me thinking Alessandro Valente's championship chances when he had the game crash and the rain fell that we could protest, but I think, to be honest, he was the only one and it had nothing to do with the rain, so, here we go, Hero's having a little look, and
don't hit your teammate, don't hit
no
your
team
teammate.
orders, no team orders between these, they're technically different teams, aren't they? Because there's...
White and blue, yeah.
Yeah, right, white and blue, but if you see...
Schumann's on the white and going defensive. They're both on white.
Yeah, they are. So
yeah, both both correct.
So you're right, they are teammates. And here we go, Schumann. Not for the first time, goes wide at turn 3, and through goes Pires. So Pires looking for another podium here, but he's got 16 that's 16 seconds, I think, to make up to just under 10 seconds to make up to Petrafsky. Oh, but he goes a little wide. Could Peter Schumann counter-attack? Here he comes. And they barge wheels almost. It's so narrow here.
He's going to go deep.
But he's not going to grip him on the wet stuff there. Tries to get a wheel alongside. And he's going to be pushed to the outside then. So, Pires defending beautifully. But, Schumann goes very, very wide. I wonder if the wet tyres are a bit past their best here.
Which indicates how Homewood's doing this is, I don't know.
Yeah, there he is. What's the gap between himself as we go towards... we are on the final lap now, aren't we?
Yep, time is up. So Liam Rance is going to do the double.
Yeah, there we go. We did think he might. That was the big challenge, and it's really only Homewood that could have prevented him, I think. And he did everything. But Liam Rance just held on, kept the tyres alive, did exactly what he needed to do. And because of his efforts, Hunter Birch Simulation, not only is Liam Rance going to take 2 wins in a row, but we are going to lead the team's championship. Although I think Fringavon will have also closed in heavily on Iris as a result of this.
Iris have really picked a one to miss, isn't it? Here, this has been a great race in Interlagos.
Yeah, so unpredictable because we didn't know whether it was going to play into Liam Rance's hands or not. And the only really big disappointment was the race is Valente having that computer issue, which wasn't really his fault at all. And will he be brewing that later on? But he's still only 8 points behind in the Drivers' Championship, so it really still is game on there, isn't it? And
yeah, just let 4 or 10, as you say. Next time I was halfway, then I'll start getting worried.
There we go. So Liam Rance slips and slides his way through Interlagos to a famous double. Really, he's not been in this championship long, but already he's getting I think 30 points to his name. This is going to put him well into the top 10, isn't it? And potentially we could see him with some ballast next time. We could see what he's really made of. But here we go. He powers towards the line then. Interbird Simulation had only won once in the reverse grid. It's going to be 3 wins now.
Yes!
As Liam Rance in the 64 powers towards the line. His victory in Interlagos. He flashes his lights. The rain dampens none of his enthusiasm. And none of our enthusiasm either. He pulls a big gap on Nick Homewood. And, it's a lake out there. It's a running river. But he mastered the elements. There was nothing that could be thrown at him that could stop him.
Nick gets second. What a race, and what a job from Liam Rance as well. What a race day over the 2, and for Petrowski as well to take 3rd. That's even better.
Well, Petrowski had to bail out, didn't he? Once Homewood got through to get for the extreme wets, and to be honest, it was probably the right call because there was no guarantee Homewood would have been able to stay on the island. But still, 2 podiums for Lev Speed. They'll be happy with that. And here's Pires, who will just beat Schumann and McHugh, who is not far behind either. But there we go.
What a race!
Yeah, certainly excitement all around everywhere you look. And the Ring of Honor's coming together very forcefully at the end there. Chris Davis now will come across the line to take 7th. It really went wrong for him. But so much excitement in that race. And Pascal Leggett battling away with Boras. He's just going to beat Boras right at the end here. But Boras will give it everything as he slides and slips, looking for any little grip he can get. And he's going to get a little bit of a run. Can he snatch 8 from Pascal Leggett? At the death, he's got the run. Here they come towards the line. Josh, is it going to be 8 for base Boras? It is. He takes it from Pascal Leggett right at the end. You've got to feel the Pascal.
That was heartbreaking for Pascal, but what a run to the line, side by side. And he did it. Fantastic. And now everyone's crossed the line completely, which note, considering I'm up at 3 a.m. for the next session, I'm going to have to leave the commentary box. What a fantastic race. Ed, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you again tomorrow for Formula E's weekends. But hope everyone has a great night. And what a race! Liam Rance 2 in a row for Homewood Simulation. I think we'll take that one, won't we?
Liam Rance has told me the wets are useless.
Oh, God.
I would disagree. But
absolutely. They got us a win. Yeah,
let's go through the final results then. So Josh, you head off then. I'll do the interviews.
Yes,
so Liam Rance
everyone.
takes victory from Nick Homewood, but to the tune of 3 or 4 seconds there. Maximilian Petrowski takes 3rd. Francisco Pires 4th. Peter Schumann 5th. Thomas McHugh 6th. Chris Davis 7th. Ben Boras 8th. Pascal Leggett just beaten by Boras and falling down to 9th at the end. Saz Bollix will a few laps down, will be classified in 10th position. And then there's Akos Farago and Alessandro Valente, who both failed to finish, with Valente having that unfortunate screen freeze and becoming a spectator for most of the race. A shame he was leading before that stop for wet tyres. It could have worked out for him. But Liam Rance held on despite such a difficult start, made his way past everyone, and him and Nick Homewood having a superb and very, very memorable battle then. So, we will hopefully now be joined by some of the drivers. Nick Homewood is in the waiting room, but let's get Liam Rance in. So, sorry for not giving any warning, Liam. We're now joined in the commentary box by with the winner of both races, Liam Rance. Liam, are you there? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hey Liam, congratulations. And as team owner, I have to say that went exactly the plan in both races. In race 1, qualified on pole, completely, I wouldn't say untroubled because you managed everything beautifully. And then race 2, you were on the back foot, of course, on the wet tyres. You weren't sure quite what was happening with the weather. And it was all happening in front of you, and you held your nerve eventually they all pit in front of you, and it was just Nick Homewood you had to overcome. And what a battle that was! Talk us through it.
So it turns out these wet tyres are absolutely useless. Because I'm pretty sure Nick was on the slicks.
I think he was on the purple tyres, which I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, which is softs.
Oh, right, okay.
Because there's no inter tyres.
Yeah, so Nick it was like a knife edge. You had to stay exactly on the middle of the road, otherwise it would have been curtains for him.
Yeah, so that just shows how useless these wet tyres are, and it probably should have been the better option to start on the slicks. But yeah, everybody on lap 1 decided to spin in front of me.
Yeah, there were so many incidents, weren't there? So you really got to see some different driving standards from the first race, where you were leading out front, and it was basically all your teammates that got were in all the battles, basically.
Yeah.
But for your first go in touring cars in the EERC British Touring Car Championship, was it what you were expecting?
Sort of. I mean, had no idea of like the pace coming into the race, but.
Yeah, well, we weren't expecting Iris to drop out, so it was a little bit of a shame in that. But Nick Homewood put quite a fight up on the softs at the end there, and certainly he was the only one who really could have stopped you in either race, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was just because I know how like the service work when it's scripted weather, and that weather was clearly scripted, so I knew it was
scripted by
going to
Nick
rain.
Homewood, of all people.
Yes, and it's a bit of a coincidence that he's had a good result in the race that he scripted, but. But yeah, so I knew it was going to rain at the end because it rained in warm up. It was just a matter of if and it was just a matter of when and for how long for. Which yeah, happy it came when it did, because I think if it went any longer, my wets would have been like slicks by the time it rained.
Okay, but anyway, a fantastic effort by you, Liam. Next up, Bud International Circuit in India, which is not usually a place you see touring cars race. Are you excited for that? Are you going to be joining us there, Liam? Or
should be. I mean,
yeah, that should be.
I've never driven the track, so we'll see.
The 6th of May, I believe, or is that the 5th of May? No, it's the 6th. I'm pretty sure. So either way, we'll find out closer to the day. But I'm sure you can do just as well there. And of course, no better way than to start your championship off than with 2 victories in a row. You've launched yourself well into the hunt then. But thanks for talking to us, Liam. I'm going to let you head off now and enjoy your victory. But I know Josh was very happy indeed. So you've got 2 happy team owners then. So, but anyway, and we're leading the Constructors' Championship, or Teams' Championship rather now. So
nice.
That was exactly what we needed to be. And it's mainly thanks to your efforts, but certainly in the first race, Valente and Aloy both helped by scoring some vital points as well.
Yeah, perfect.
So anyway, I'm going to drag Nick Homewood in now and see what he has to say. Nick, he joins us now from Bring Around Racing. So,
Hello.
Nick, your best result then in EERC Touring Cars was second, but the man who's just celebrating 2 victories in a row, he just got you at the end. He says, Liam was just telling us he thought the soft tyres were the ones to start the race on, and it seems that you almost made it work there, didn't you?
I didn't even mean to start on the soft tyres.
He was saying that the wets were absolutely useless.
Apparently, but I was just clicking through to make sure that we had to make a change on the server to make sure that all the tyres were there, and apparently I started on the softs.
Do you think you had a bit of advantage setting up the rain? That you knew when it was going to fall? Liam kind of figured it out, how scripted events worked as well. So both of you were able to anticipate what was happening. There was chaos going on around you in that second race.
I didn't know when. I knew it was going to rain. I didn't know when. Pascal set that all up on the server side.
Okay.
So.
And
Yeah.
a little word on the first race. You and Peter having a good little battle for 5th in the end. I forget how it turned out now because the second race completely erased my memory of the first race, apart from the fact that Liam won, of course.
The first race was good. If there was another lap, I was Petrovsky, I think. If there was another lap, I could have got him, I think. But such is life. P5.
Yeah, but you both certainly put on some superb entertainment for us. And it's certainly great to see you doing really well, Nick, because it's been a tough opening 3 rounds for you. And great to see you back on the podium and fighting for 5th position.
And yeah, well done to Liam. There was no way I was keeping that on the road. Trying to stay ahead of him.
So finally, I think we can invite Francisco Pires to have a little interview. Oh, nope, that's the wrong channel. There we go. So we're just joined now for Francisco Pires from Bring Around Racing. So Francisco, are you there? He's muted at the moment. We'll just give him a bit of chance to join us. So, Nick, are you looking forward to... Oh, no, Francisco is now joined us. Hey, Francisco, congratulations on finishing third in the first race. Or was it it was second in the first race.
Second in the first race, yeah.
Certainly, Liam gave you a really hard time because it was like 12 seconds the gap by the finish, even though Liam slowed down at the end to make sure there wasn't an extra lap in that first race. So while it was a very, very good drive for you, it felt like you definitely did well to beat Chris Davis. It felt like you couldn't quite live with the pace of Liam.
Yeah, I think he slowed down like 12 seconds too little at the end. Should have slowed down like 13 seconds then I would be able to race him.
Wouldn't have been much time left to race you though. But anyway, it was still a very good drive, bro. Even that second race, you certainly overcame Nassim Alawi and Chris Davis to get into second, so we shouldn't discount that. Then the second race, you were one of the guys who had to pit really for tyres. It was all chaos for you, wasn't it?
It was. Someone pushed me off the pit lane, and I had to do another lap.
Yeah, you had to do that extra drop in the pits. So I think it was Skazbolks, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I was trying to look at it, but in a true.
It's hard to tell. Everyone was hitting one another. I think Bence was hitting a few people as well. Pascal got in a bit of trouble as well for hitting people.
I know. It didn't look like it was on purpose, but it looked like he was surprised, like I was.
But you did recover to beat Peter Schumann, wasn't it? Yeah, you got Peter Schumann right at the end.
I got it.
Was there a bit of nervousness with your teammate there, or was it a case of Peter was playing fair and you were just waiting for him to make a mistake?
Oh, he gave me two choices. We were on the chat. He gave me two choices. I either stay behind or I die. So I went for the third one. He killed me after the race, though.
I'm not surprised to hear that, but that was third and I believe fourth for you. Third and fourth, right? So that's absolutely
second and fourth.
So second and fourth, sorry.
Yeah.
So that's extremely good, and certainly your championship needed a bit of a high gear, so that's absolutely excellent for you.
Yeah,
so looking ahead to Bud now, is that going to be a good circuit for you? Of course, lots of really wide entries to corners and some really fast chicanes and stuff there. It's very tight, technical in places, but also very high speed. So are you looking forward to that one? And do you think Ring of Honor are going to get back in the hunt with Iris and Hunter Birch Simulation?
Yeah, perhaps. I never raced there before, so...
well, that's the case for a lot of drivers. It's not really been used too much since F1 stopped going there.
That might be either a good sign, a really good sign, or a really bad sign. So, I think the results might get a little bit mixed up compared to this race because of that. It's going to be a bit more unpredictable. But... we're hoping for, we're always aiming for the win, and someone never lets us win, fortunately. But other than that,
Well, you were only 12 seconds away in that race one, so you can take heart from that, and victory is never too far away, is it? And hopefully, if Iris or Hunter Boat Simulation hit trouble, then we know Ring of Honor will be there to take advantage. So, thanks for joining us. That's all the interviews, because everyone else has gone away. No doubt to go to bed or something, or to dry themselves off after all that rain. But we now look ahead to the next race from EERC, which will be, of course, if you can't wait until Bud International, we've still got more action from Interlagos, where it might not rain quite as hard, but you can never rule that out in between the lakes here. So that's going to be on 16th of April, as Josh said, which is in about 9 days' time. So look out for that, and you can be sure to see lots of action from LMP1, LMP2, and GD3 there. But from me, Edward Hunter, from Josh, from Nick, Pascal, and all the people organising at EERC Touring Cars, goodbye. And it's 2 in a row for Liam Rance. Can he get his way back into the championship? It's still Sven Gilhead who leads by 8 points from Alessandro Valente, but it is Hunter Burt Simulation who are our new leaders in the team's championship. I forget what the margin is now, but I think it's by at least 10 points now, with 2 wins in a row for Liam Rance. So certainly the ball is in our court, and we've got to see if we can make the most of it in the remaining 6 rounds. So it's still all to play for, but another twist, another new leader in the team's championship. So what's going to happen in Bud? What's going to happen in Interlagos for endurance? We don't know, so tune in to find out. But from all of us at EERC, It's goodbye for now, and thanks for enjoying a brilliant pair of races with us.